All right, look at that. We are live. Hello, everyone.
Awesome.
It's I guess I'm now known as Richard Presents, and I'm here with Starfield Eclipse, and we're back for another live stream. I think we did one about a month ago was the last one we did. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it was right on the precipice of Terran Armada coming out. So we were discussing a lot of our expectations and what we were looking forward to.
Yeah, and now it has happened, and we are here. So let me see. If you're here, go ahead and say hello. And let's see. Let's check the people tab. Still getting used to doing all this kind of stuff, but yeah. So if you're
Yeah,
watching the
I
recording of
wonder
this,
about live streamers. I cannot multitask like live streamers can. They're watching chat, they're playing a game at the same time, responding. I cannot do that. Like I have to pause the game and read comments.
yeah. Oh, hey, we got people dropping in. Hey, hello. Hello, Elleron and Cameron Hill and Jordan Roberts and Dan on TV 987. We are doing well. I shouldn't speak for you, Eclipse. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Last night was probably like the first night that I got a full night's sleep, and since Terran Armada came out, uh,
Oh,
I've been kind of grinding away at a bunch of different projects, playing through the update as well. So, like, I'm well rested today, but if you would have talked to me about 2 days ago, I would have been a little bit loopy and sleep deprived.
all right. Well, that's good. We timed this well. At least I let you know early enough that we were going to try to do this on
Yeah.
this day, so that worked out. So I just wanted to say, anyone who's been seeing the posts that I've had the last couple weeks, thank you very much for everyone's support. My daughter told me that she cried when she read all of the nice things that people had said on my two posts about my mom. So you all are awesome, and it really did make a difference. It did. I even told my mom when I got a chance to see her. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Um, oh, sounds like my wife is cooking, and we might get an alarm downstairs. Oh no, she said she's going to turn it off. There we go. She just silenced the smoke alarm. Look, that's good. Yeah, it's Saturday, so my wife likes to cook down there. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining us today. We have so many topics to work through. I made a list, and that was just things that I thought of, and Eclipse has topics that he wants to talk to as well. So I guess the first, maybe it's just the first topic is, what are your general impressions so far of playing Free Lanes and Terran Armada? And one of you requested that we don't have any spoilers in this. And I also have the same request because I actually haven't played any of Terran Armada yet. I've been trying to do all the Free Lane stuff. So if we can talk about just impressions without any spoilers, that would be great. So Eclipse, what do you think?
So far, Terran Armada, I am rather thoroughly enjoying. I would say the combat is nice, difficult, challenging. It's refreshing. I don't even have like any kind of like difficulty mods turned on right now yet. I was planning on turning them on tonight, but still very challenging. I am enjoying the storyline. Um, it's interesting to say the least. As far as free lanes go, I am ecstatic with like a lot of the updates they made. Cruise mode is a lot of fun, and I've been seeing people mod authors doing tweaks to cruise mode to allow people to do close bys of planets and stars, which is just absolutely awesome. um, Beyond that, I want to get into the outpost building tonight and build a few outposts and see how that's changed. Sorry. There is just a lot of changes, and it's so broad in scope. Like I haven't even touched everything yet. Um, I know, like the new companions, absolutely love them. Uh, all well, there was two for free lanes, and then there's a third one for Terran Armada. Absolutely enjoy all of them. And they take it in such like they're three separate characters almost. Like
Mm.
they're not the same at all. So I like how they went in three separate directions with those companions. Very enjoyable experience. What did you think about everything?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it as well. No surprise. Although, hey, this is an honest channel. Like if I didn't enjoy it, I would let you all know. I wouldn't go out of my way to start bashing or anything because that's not what this channel is about. But I'm definitely enjoying it. And I think I mentioned either in a comment or somewhere that I think it was in a video about the cruise aspect, because I think that's the sort of the centerpiece of the update. initially I was not thinking this was that big a deal, but I use it all the time now. And it's because it's a different way to interact with the system map. The system map is a very boring, static display of what is out there. And the cruise mode allows you to encounter that stuff, but then also it throws in the random encounters, which is even better. And I'm going to have to do a lot of that, I think. So that's a lot of what I've been doing. And the other aspect of this that has been a little bit of a challenge for me was I wanted to, well, okay, so you might have seen I did a post about save file size. And the save file by itself is an absolute number, is not the important aspect. It's the number of saves. So, if you're using cloud saves, you only get what, a gig of space, basically. I think both on
Yeah.
on Steam and Xbox. So that means if my save files are over 40 something, I can't really have that many saves. And I like to keep a lot of saves. So I had to take my character through Unity. And this particular character had been like, this is my original character, and it had only been through Unity once. And when I came out the other side, I did Shattered Space, all 4 faction quests. I just played that character out, but as a result, save file was really large. So I took advantage of the QED, which is awesome. I'm gonna probably go through Unity a lot more now because I can take my stuff. And again, the reason that this is important, at least for this particular character, is this is just vanilla. I don't play with any mods with this character on Xbox or on Xbox for PC. So being able to find something cool like a weapon or upgrade it or whatever, or even I like to wear the Varun outfits. So to be able to throw those in the QED and then take them with me into the next playthrough that's been a great addition, I think.
That was a huge pain point that I'm very like, I never had issues with going through the Unity. I like the fresh start, but I
Mm.
realized like a lot of players, they found like some kind of magical gun. They didn't want to give it up. They didn't want to start over again with that. Like I realized that like they need to add something that allows people to bring just a little bit through.
Mhm.
And like that change, and especially the change with X Tech, where you can take like a weapon from the very beginning and upgrade it
Mm.
all the way through the end. I think that makes like the weapon choices a lot more personal, combined with like being able to take it through the Unity, because like you can pick up a weapon right off the bat and carry that all the way through to the end game using X Tech to upgrade it, which
Yeah.
you couldn't do in the original vanilla game.
I had a interaction with someone on one of my comments and talking about ship blueprints. And while I think a lot of people think in terms of sharing your ship blueprints with others, which you can do on PC thanks to Laurent Kiar and their awesome modding, but even just being able to render your ship as a slate, and then you put the slate in the QED and you come out the other side and you can build your ship.
Mhm.
I that would be a nice addition because I think I mentioned I had to build a new ship for the first time in something like over a year because usually I have my ships built in the creation kit, and I use mods, and so the ship is a mod. I go to a vendor and I buy it, but I didn't have that because I'm playing vanilla. So the trick that I used, and the credit goes to Tammy. I'm not sure if you're here from the Facebook side of things, but she recommended buying as much ammo as I could, and then setting the gameplay so that ammo has no weight, and then you put it in the QED, and then you get on the other side and you sell all that ammo. So that's what I did. I came
Little
out.
hack there to bring a bunch of
Oh
money
yeah,
through.
I think I put in probably $1 million or million credits, whatever, worth of ammo into the QED. But then when it came out the other side and I had to sell it, I think it was only about 500K. But that was plenty. I was able to build my favorite end game type ship, and it had everything I was looking for. So combine that
Yeah,
with putting some gear in, yeah, it worked out really well.
I think that's something that in future updates, while they continue working on Starfield, I would love to see them add the ability to save like templates for
Mhm,
outposts and both
mhm.
ships as well. I think that would further address a lot of people's hesitation about the Unity. That's like a big gripe I hear. I don't want to give up my ship. I don't want to give up my ship. I
Mhm.
don't want to give up my outpost. And like I get it. Like you spent how many hours building that ship and perfecting it? You don't wanna give it up. So hopefully, with future updates, that is something that they address. Is that like how do we allow players to bring their ship through the Unity? And I think it's a matter of like blueprints or a template that's like tied into like the builder itself. Like if you could save like a template and then pop it back up, boom, and or have it on a slate and have it as something you can just load up. That would be perfect
Yeah,
and
I
allow people
100%
to address
agree.
those.
Yeah, the outpost would be a little more difficult because the outpost is built into terrain. So maybe
Yeah,
if you had some
exactly.
sort of like you have to build a foundation so that the game knows when it loads the outpost in a new location, it's building on a foundation which is known, and then from there it's okay. And if you don't build it on the foundation, then well, you can't bring it through. You can't store it as a slate or whatever.
Yeah, I
So
thought
hey,
about that with terrain and kinda came to a similar conclusion, like, you'd have to have, like, a flat foundation.
mhm. Yeah, I just want to say hello. We've got some more people. Hey, Marty McFly is here from the which year are you from, Marty? You from 1985 or 19? What is it? What were the three time zones? I can't remember anymore. Um, M. Joseph B. Vi for Pi. Kinesthesia. Hello. Hello, Doc. Oh, yeah. Doc. People have been asking me about the Star Trek mod, Perdidas Fleet. I know Doc's involved with that one. Cable Snarky. Hello.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's they came out with a PS version, so that's cool. Glad to see that. I mean, you never know, right? You never know what would have happened with some of these IPs. And Toyful, okay, so Toyful 9000 just dropped in. I got to say hello. Toyful 9000 is my resident favorite speedrunner, and people ask me like, "What do you like? Why do you like speedrunning?" And hey, Truth Seeker, the reason I like speedrunners is because they show you what is possible and not possible in the game. So if you want to know, do you have to have X, Y, or Z in order to accomplish goals A, B, and C, check a speedrunner because they've already figured it out. They've figured out the
Yep.
fastest way to accomplish whatever it is. So Teufel has done 2 speedruns recently, and I can't watch either one of them because I haven't completed Terran Armada. But he did one where he did a New Game Plus speedrun of Terran Armada. And then the second one, this is going to blow your minds. He did a new file speedrun of Terran Armada, which means starting in the cave on Vectera with Heller and Lynn all the way through to completion of Terran Armada. Now, you can do a speed run on easy level. It doesn't, that's within the rules of the speedrunning community, but it doesn't like you're not allowed to use mods or cheats or hacks or whatever. You can use tricks if you want to, like you can do zipping or glitching or whatever. But yeah, the fact that he did Terran Armada under 3 hours from a level 0 character, I can't wait to watch that one. But it's going to be a few more weeks, so I need to finish Terran Armada. Oh, hello. Oh, Official Anvil Creations is here. So Official Anvil Creations, they are the team, the duo behind one of my favorite mods or creations, modular explosive delivery system. That is the drone system that has completely changed the way I play combat. Have you tried that one at all, Eclipse?
I have tried it. I do enjoy it. I kinda go more of a, like, science fantasy combat role, so I haven't I think it's really cool. I use it for, a lot of photographs and taking
Oh,
videos, to be honest. I don't use it that much for combat.
okay. Yeah, I usually run with I use the Gangs All Here mod, which I haven't. Okay, so in case anyone's wondering, all of my play thus far since release has been on vanilla, so I have not tried any mods yet. I hope to do that in the next week. A lot of stuff's been going on in the background, as you all know, but I'm hoping I can like try more modded play. So your comments on mods, Eclipse, people's comments comments in the comments is I'm interested in that. But yeah, modular explosive delivery system to me combined with Gangs All Here, I sometimes act as like the platoon commander or the squadron commander. I just sort of sit back and I let my forces go in there, and then I'll throw in the drones, and I might throw in some scouting drones or whatever. And I'll jump in there if the characters are not advancing far enough. But and also NPC spawn or danger zone. That's my third one because you can just spawn a little squad of UC Marines or whatever, and they just charge right in. So the fact that Starfield can support like single play or you and a companion or potentially you with a dozen people going up against a target is one of the things I love about it.
It's amazing how much it can support, especially like companion wise. Like, I see people with, like they have, like, the whole entire, like, all of Starfield's cast following them, and it's like,
Right.
"Holy cow. How is the engine handling this?"
Yeah. Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, people love to dog on Creation Engine, but the fact that it can do these things, and I understand, you get underneath, you look under the hood, and you see some stuff that they've done. Even with the new update, I believe they added 2 new record types, and so that was causing some issues with the people who work on like Xedit and the reverse engineering. But even then, they were on it fast, and they got the SFSE updated. And oh, okay, all right. Since we're talking about this, I don't even know if I mentioned this in our, because Eclipse and I usually talk for a few minutes beforehand, so we got to be careful we don't like forget things because we've already talked about them. Um, Let me see if there's a way I can share. Let me see here. Here we go. Share screen. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, shoot. Um, has anyone else seen the preview video for Starfield Co-op mode? It's a mod. Have you seen this?
I have not seen
Oh,
it.
okay.
But
So
you got my interest peaked.
yeah, so it's a mod. It's like it's not official. Let me see. I've got a tab here. If there's a way, I got to figure out how to share that. Let's see.
That is definitely something that I've been wanting for a while. Not like a full-on multiplayer experience, like a shooter, but like a cooperative, maybe like small groups.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. Pulsar. There we go. And let me get it on the screen. And let's see, add it to the stage. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me remove that. Add to stage. There we go. Okay, here it is. This is awesome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this. Put it in theater mode. So it's called Pulsar Co-op Mod for Starfield. It's a sneak peek. It was published 2 days ago by Rami Sadi. And there it is. So you can see the 2 screens with that player. Can you imagine?
I'm
If
gonna
this
be
actually works.
wondering what are the requirements of this?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a
Like how
SFSD, so you're gonna have to play on PC. I'll turn the audio off because the audio doesn't actually tell you anything. Let me see here.
but yeah, very interesting concept. I would love to do that. That is something that I've always wanted is, like, can I experience this game with, like, friends?
Yeah. I mean, we would do this, right? You and I think this would be a fun stream. We try co-op mode.
I do have a gaming PC. I could fire it up for, some Starfield.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool. Okay, so that's all I've got, everybody. That's all that's out there. If I think I shared this on as a post. So if you want to see more, just go into the posts for the channel and you'll be able to link right to the video and watch it. There's, not a lot to it right now, but oh my goodness. I'm not like I am not a video game player. Like Starfield's the only game I play, but I would absolutely try that because I think it would just be fun to run around with your friends and assault some POIs or whatever.
Especially, like, you could, like, show off your outposts, your ship and stuff. Very interesting concept. I'd be very interested in, like, how does, you know, space combat work? Do you each take a
Mm,
separate ship? Do you take the same ship? So kind of like regardless of how they solve like those issues, like I would definitely be interested in playing um just from like the perspective like, hey, I can show you like my outpost, here's my ship, and then go like explore different stuff and even turn the difficulty up really high because you have multiple players. It'd be fun.
yeah. Yeah, in case anyone's wondering, this is not the same crew that bailed out on Starfield like 2.5 years ago because they thought it was a bad game.
I had that question. I was keeping it to myself.
Yeah,
um
this is somebody new who's done it solo, and the demo was after 6 days of work. So it makes me wonder, like, how did they do? Are they a professional software developer? Are they vibe coding? I don't think you could vibe code this, honestly. I don't think there's enough out there to build on, but who knows? I hope whatever they do, they publish it on GitHub so we can look at the code and see how they did it.
Let's see, how would I vibe code that? I would probably look at the, Skyrim version that allows for cooperative play and tear
Mhm.
that apart and apply that to Creation Engine 2. Um, probably could be done. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hey, since we're talking, so we broke the AI wall. I don't know how many minutes into the
Ah,
session, about 20 minutes. Let's talk about what you've been working on with your AI tool, because you put out a video describing how it works, or not describe, it was a demo. I think you said you've done two already, two demos. Can you just talk a little bit about what that
um,
is?
you know what? You want to like we can just watch the video. It's about 5 minutes long, and explain what exactly is going on with that.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to show it and like put it up in the window and then narrate, describe, that'd be cool.
So let's rewind it. Um, are you able to see this?
Okay, so I'm gonna add it to the stage. Oh, wait, let me remove the other one. Okay, add to the stage. Doop. Okay, there you go.
All right, let's open it up a bit here. So this, I've switched out the avatar to a little bit more professionally developed one, but right here I am just generally typing out in plain English a request to search the Starfield ESM and basically tell me about the skyboxes that are occurring within Starfield. And what it's going to do is it's basically scraping all the planetary data out of the ESM and running comparisons, and it's going to describe to me essentially the skybox itself. The surprising fact is it went ahead and does all the trigonometry to figure out the arc seconds or the amount of like radius that or the percentage of like skybox that's going to be taken up in particular orbits. So this is just a tool I built in. It runs on top of Codex. So this.
Oh, I think I lost your audio. You still there?
Is the audio coming through?
Now you're there. Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Oh,
So I'm
sorry,
gonna
sorry.
I'm gonna let her
You
play.
need, yeah, okay.
682 natural planets, and 981 natural moons. Planet star orbits are not mostly circular. 307 moderate eccentricity, 65 high eccentricity, 230 mild, only 80 near circular. Moon orbits are calmer. 231 near circular, 419 mild, 300 moderate, 87 high. Planet axial tilt is usually modest, but there are a few wild/outlier fields. After normalizing wrapped angles, the big standouts are Captain 2 at about 130.8 degrees, Huygens 2 at 93.
All right, I think that is enough to kind of explain the concept here,
Yeah.
and I will kind of further elaborate. So I use this tool to build Tycho, and I'm currently using it to build an update to what is it, Pytheas. So this is basically I built an ESM parser through a lot of really hard work. I've plugged it into the AI, so the AI basically has an ESM parser and it can go ahead and do research. How I utilize this is I basically break things up into like 4 phases. We have like our initial research phase where I basically like here's my pitch of the mod I want to do, and we figure out what we need to research and what we need to figure out how it works. And during that process, we basically just strip data out of the ESM and figure out how things work. And then we build out some tools to basically implement those changes. Then we get to our planning phase, and this is kind of like where we get all the details together of like what exactly we want to do after we've like figured out what the problems are and how we overcome them. And then the next phase is we take that planning phase, we produce a design document which spells out exactly like how the ESM should be written, what necessary assets we have to gather for this, etc. And we build our design document, then we implement it. So she actually, Nyx here, the AI avatar has a ESM writer as well as a parser and will write the ESM for me. Now, probably what I'm going to get is a lot of people going like, well, AI makes mistakes. I know. So during the implementation phase, what I'll do is I break it up into segments, and we do a visual audit myself. So, like with Tycho, what we first did was we created all the planets and all the orbits, and then I pulled it up in Xedit, its output. I checked its output and made sure it matched what we were doing in the design document. It went ahead and also did its own comparison to the design document as well. Then we went into the next phase, which was swapping biomes around. We swapped the biomes around. I went ahead, checked, make sure those biomes were correctly swapped around. Then we got into flora and fauna after that. And basically, so we're doing like kind of a gated approach.
Do you mind if I just switch over and show people the creations page? This is all Pythias system, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Just put that up the screen.
Well, this one isn't Pythias. We built Tycho. Pythias is coming out in a little bit.
Okay.
I'm play testing it right now, so I'm just making sure things feel the way I want them to feel.
Okay, let me let's see.
So one little bit of clarification is this model will not make any kind of creative assets. So Tycho uses purely base game like art assets. It will not create like any kind of artistic assets, and in fact, it's like part of the personality I made with this was to extract your artistic direction from you. So I changed the personality a little bit. So like when you're getting into the planning phase, her personality changes a little bit. She seems a little bit more interested in your ideas. And this is whole concept is I want not AI slop. What I want is people to basically give their artistic direction so they can get good design documents out of it. And they get what their artistic direction is instead of the AI taking over and doing that artistic direction for you. So that was the whole concept behind this. And also adding a lot of safety features, because like if you have an ESM writer, you can write whatever you want. So the AI will ask you for a lot of hand like inspections, like, hey, please inspect this, make sure it's correct and it's functioning correct. So a lot of safety features are getting built into it. I don't know if I'm going to share this publicly, not. I'm not sure, because I think it might cause like a hubbub or a fuss. But from a point of view, like it's not handling like any kind of art direction. It's handling most of the back end work, which is like the nitty gritty, like what keywords do I need to make this fauna spawn correctly? How do I move a biome from one place to another? So it's handling those back-end decisions and not handling creative design decisions. That's going to be you. What it does do for that creative part is it will help you brainstorm ideas, and then it'll also document your ideas. So you don't, like, I know I myself, I will have like a brilliant idea pop up in my mind, and then it'll disappear like 10 minutes later and be gone forever.
Yeah. So if people are wondering, so the mod that you were, well, I think you've built all three of these with this, maybe not, but you were just talking about
them.
Okay.
So Tycho was built with this. Pythias, I built that by hand, but the update's going to be built with AI off my direction.
And I wanted to make people know that these are out there because Tycho and Proxima are on PlayStation now, and Pythias will be, I'm sorry, Pythias, I'm not sure how to say it, will be on PlayStation with a future update.
Yep. So
yeah,
I'm currently playing through the update. Like I have it ready. I'm just making sure it feels the way I want it to feel. So I might make some small changes, or I might just post it. It depends on did I get the feel correct? And so far, so good. Do you mind if I take over the screen for just a moment? I just want to show a short clip from the update of Pythias.
Yeah, let me remove that, and you've got it back. And there was a question: is this essentially a star system generating AI platform? Does that sound
good? I will stipulate that Tycho took me approximately 30 hours, even with the AI tool, to plan out and fully implement. But you could potentially like shoot one out in 10 minutes if you don't care about the quality, and you let the AI kind of take over creative direction, which I would not suggest. And the AI is going to try to point you away from that anyways, but it's an AI. You can gaslight it to do anything.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, like I'm putting tools in there, I'm putting it in there to try and point people in the proper direction. If I do share it publicly, that they have to kind of jailbreak it a little bit to produce like slop where they go, hey, build me a awesome system. Can you guys see the screen I am sharing right now?
Okay. I just added it to the stage. So there it is.
All right. So I'm going to hit play on this. This is a spider world I created.
So I know this is some people's worst nightmare. I don't blame them.
I'm putting this into Pytheas, and I will give you the stipulation. If you do not like spiders, just don't go to Arachnos. You'll be fine. The rest of Pytheas is not like this. I just wanted one terrifying world where you don't go. That's the thing I like in video games, is like having those terrifying aspects. So fun little one there. That should be out soonish. Like I said, I'm just play testing, making sure I'm getting the right feel for this. One of the stipulations I'd have to say with like the AI tool, if I ever do make this public, you would have to have like a subscription to Codex, because it runs on top of Codex. I think like the cheapest one is like $20. That's what I'm currently using. I have yet to hit any kind of rate limits on that. I think there was one time at 3 a.m. I hit a rate limit where it said like, oh, you're out of tokens. And it's like, your tokens refresh in 3 minutes. Like, okay, I'll just wait the 3 minutes. But you could basically create anything. Right now, I'm currently working on a workflow for the tool for questing, where basically it'll do all the quest wiring for you. You do your initial pitch of your story for it. What we did was we scraped every single quest out of the Starfield ESM, and then we categorized them into different templates. So you'll pitch your story, and it's going to go, hey, this is the best template that fits your story. Let's go with this. And you'll place like all the objects, because I wouldn't trust it with placing objects in points of interest. So it'll produce the objects for you. You'll go into the creation kit, you'll place them around, and then it'll wire the quest in all the different gates that are necessary for you. So you don't really need to worry about those aspects. You can worry about the creative aspects of it, where you're worrying about like, is the writing good? Are we flowing well with the pacing, etc., and stuff like that. And it can handle the back end work of like, how do we wire this quest correctly so we don't have bugs, defects, and places where like people get stuck.
Yeah.
And that's the main objective here of this, is how do I make modding easy, and how do I make it entertaining? That was a lot of me crafting the personality for Nyx, was how do I make this entertaining? I know when I was producing the update for Pytheas, interesting development. It was the kind of like the second modding project we're working on with the personality, and it's observational based personality. So it started telling Todd Howard jokes while doing the process of like implementing it, which I found extremely refreshing. But it's kind of like picking up like, hey, I'm being used to make Starfield mods, so let's tell some like Starfield jokes and stuff, and keep things entertaining. So that was a big one for me, because like I get off of like a 10-hour shift, going to stare at Xedit. It's painful for me. I've been staring at spreadsheets all day long, looking at Xedit. It's like the same thing. It's like I have the knowledge, the capacity to do that, but I don't want to do that. So I wanted a little bit more lighthearted experience. Not to mention the AI is just simply faster than I am.
Yeah. Well, cool. So I've gotten some private messages. Maybe not sure if you could see them. I'll hook you up with the person who's asking the questions. I don't want to out who that is. They want to talk to you about this stuff, and it'll be someone you want to talk to, I think. So
Yeah, I think a lot of people were very interested in like the little demo I put on my YouTube, and it only got like 250 views, which wasn't a lot, but of the people that watched it, there was a lot of people that were very interested in this because like the research tool by itself, that's like the probably the longest process that mod authors have is they have an idea in their head, they know it can be done, but they don't know how to do it, and
yeah.
that like takes a lot of time. Like I can strip every font, and I did this. I stripped every fauna record out of the Starfield ESM, and I was able to see like how are they getting it to work, what keywords are required, where are they required, and then I could build a rule system so that when we're implementing, I'm not thinking about keywords, it's thinking about keywords. I'm thinking about like how do I want this fauna to behave on this planet? Do I want it to, be a herding fauna? Do I want it to be skittish? Do I want it to be aggressive? And that's the ultimate objective is like how do we take care of like the back end work for people and allow people to focus on being creative.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess in a previous generation, simply making the creation kit available was the way that you did that because it put
Yeah.
a form of developer tools into regular people's hands for free, but it's still pretty dense. So being able
Yeah,
to take care of a lot of that back end stuff, like you said, with
if
something
we
else
if
would be
we
really
look
good.
at it, I mean, we went from Morrowind, which was a very simple game. That was like the first, I think they released the construction kit set, they called it.
Yeah.
The construction set, a very simple game, but you go all the way to Starfield, and it's an extremely complicated game. There are so many things going on. Like my hard drive is just filled with data at this point in time that I've been just stripping out of the ESM. Like we have proc gen, and then you have like all the different pieces that touch the proc gen, like the fauna, the points of interest, the static plants, rocks, and it's like, holy cow, there was so much to do and to
Yeah.
learn just about this that like going through in Xedit, it'll take you forever to learn everything.
Well, it reminds me of some modern reverse engineering tools. They you'll have your attempt at trying to see what the code looks like. And now they've put in little AI agents where you can ask it to look at that region of code and say, what does this do? Or you can ask the AI, can you find me a region of code where the following happens? Is there a decryption routine? Is there a password check? Is there whatever? And it just accelerates your ability to look through
Yeah.
that. And I feel like that would be the next. I mean, imagine if, say, the Elder Scrolls 6 creation kit had that, where you've got the creation kit, but then there's a little window that says, "Hey, I'm trying to create an NPC. Could you show me where in the kit to create the NPC?" Or, I mean, I think you're getting this now with Unity and some other. By the way, this isn't a Unity pitch, but there are other engines out there or development environments where you can say, "I need to do this. Can you show me how to do it, or can you do it for me?" And that's where it takes it. You know, people who are both good with story creation and technical aspects. That's a tough overlap, I think.
It's rare. It's rare.
Yeah.
You don't you don't see a lot of that where you see someone that's very technical on one end and then also a very good writer on the other end, and I think that holds people back is like
Yeah.
how do we bridge that skill gap and allow creative people to create things.
I guess it's a little
So
bit less of an issue in a studio, or at least I hope it would be, where at least you could say, "Hey, I'm trying to create this quest. Can you help me add this?"
it,
Um,
you can go
or
walk over to an expert that knows the systems itself and
yeah,
they can explain it.
or
But
you
yeah, I think that's where we go in the future. Is ES6 is like how do they embed an AI assistant directly into the creation kit for that to help people learn faster, implement their ideas quicker. Not talking about like generating art assets, but talking about like how do they get them to understand faster. Where we're not having Bethesda devs sitting there producing videos on how to do the creation kit.
yeah, yeah, that scales so much better than, well, video scale pretty well, but putting an agent in there that can help you is even better. I had a question, and I wonder if someone, like, if you're here and you were just wondering, like, why do I have this channel now? Someone asked me if I'm going to be doing more cyber content. So I'm wondering, are you talking about like my cybersecurity work, like my day job? Um, because Well, I guess what's funny about my channel is it is literally just at Richard Baitlick. And so years ago, well, I guess 2.5 years ago, before the channel had Starfield content, I did have some cyber stuff on here, and I've migrated it mostly to my DAO security, channel, whatever, which I don't really do anything with. It's just old talks and stuff that I used to give. But yeah, if you're wondering if I'm doing more cyber content on this channel, no, not at all. Although my day job, I do run a podcast for my day job. I'm the host of our company's podcast. So I guess if you want cyber content and it's not a video, it's just audio, it's like a strict podcast, you can just check out Corelight. That's my employer, and you can get all the great cyber content there, I suppose. But my ultimate goal is to retire. And see the color of the beard? I want to retire, and I'll just be a full-time Starfield player. I think that would be a wonderful way. Eclipse, I think you're a lot younger than me. You probably have a little more ways to go, right?
Yeah, I got about like another 20 years left.
Yeah.
I know I've been frantically learning AI because like I see it's coming into my workplace, and if I don't know how to use it, I'm going to be one of the people on like the chopping block. So, making Starfield mods has been a wonderful way where I can learn how to utilize AI in a very like efficient capacity. Like, how do I create things? How do I coax UI or AI? And like that's going to be like one of the, I think, the learning curves if I ever release this publicly and put it up on like GitHub, is like people are probably going to like, they're going to be asking for stuff and they're not going to get the results they want. And like there's a little bit of a learning curve. Like how do you prompt an AI to get the results you want? And I guess what advice I would give to people is don't worry about trying to get everything in your prompt immediately. Worry about iterating to the proper result. And sometimes that takes like 3, 4, 5, 6 different prompts to get there, and that's perfectly fine. I normally love to start with a very general prompt and kind of just start from there, and then get to where we want to go. But it's going to be a very interesting world coming up. Especially, I think modding could definitely benefit from this, because like a lot of modders are doing stuff very manually, and it's a time-consuming process. I appreciate all the hard work you're doing, but like, can we offload that work so we get more products more quickly?
And so,
especially the non-creative aspects. Like,
yeah.
we can get rid of the like that busy work we're doing in the back end. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah. So I've had two funny comments. One, Lane Lentine said to retire and play Starfield all day sounds amazing. And then Tammy, I think that's you, right? Curtis Creations. I am retired and I do play Starfield all day. So there we go. That's my life goal.
There's a lot of people out there that are retired. They play Starfield all day. I think it's partially like the generation that really loves Star Trek, because there's a lot of Star Trek tones within Starfield. I know Endgame for Pythias. This is not part of the update. This is long vision. I do have a quest that's planned out for it. That's kind of why I'm making the quest workflow, is because I have a quest that's planned out for it that's going to be having a lot of Star Trek tones in it, a lot of bold exploration tones placed in there. And the whole concept I have is curated exploration. Can I take you through a quest that highlights all the cool and interesting spots within this system? I think that's maybe a little bit of a failing that Bethesda did when they were creating all these 1,000 systems, is they don't guide players to the pretty areas, the interesting areas, the fun areas. They kind of leave players to find them on their own. Some players, they can't, and everything looks boring and lifeless to them. But I think with Pythias, I can put in a quest that drags the player through that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So if you play the main faction quest in Starfield, or even just the primary quest, it will take you to different places. Like, you have to go to wherever to accomplish whatever. And there's a little bit of a tutorial at the beginning, but that is what I do enjoy with some of the quest modders. I guess my 2 primary quest modders are the Milk Artist and Almighty SE.
He is very good at picking pretty spots.
Oh yeah.
He's very good at that. So I'm definitely going to give him kudos for that. Kodos Crater, good spot. Nice spot. I got to see Aquila in the skybox above. Worked very well. I think the other one was in orbit around Saturn. I forget the name. It's like Tarawa or something, but
Yeah.
very pretty location.
Yeah. Yeah. The Tarawa, Vesta, there's so many good ones. We're talking about mods. I wanted to talk about how I keep up with what's updated. So people ask me, is there some list of updated mods? And all I do is I go to the Nexus mods page and I sort by last updated, and I go to the creations page and I sort by last updated. That's how I do it. I don't look at my mod manager to see what was updated because that isn't up to date with, like, I mean, it doesn't cover every mod because I don't have every mod. And then in game, I think the creation system is still really difficult to use interface wise. So I just use the websites, and that's how I keep track of what's updated. And I do have a spreadsheet where I have my mods loaded so that I could see what I'm running with different characters. And maybe I'll make a mark as to, okay, this is finally updated. Like SFSC was updated, or ship transfer was updated, or whatever. And that's how I keep track. Do you have any system you like to use?
Yeah. I kinda just turn them on and see if they work.
Oh, do you?
So I think I would have to give that stipulation, like, I updated Tycho, but Tycho did not break with, Terran Armada. So I put it out the day beforehand, expecting it fully to break the next day. No, they didn't touch anything around, like, planet or system generation or biome generation. Nothing broke. All the new POIs. So, at least I think my stipulation is just because it's not updated doesn't mean it's broken. Some things they just simply aren't going to need to update. But yeah, if you're watching something that, like, definitively it is broken, definitely sort by last updated date to watch for that update.
So here's a good example of that. And by the way, I've had tried some of that too, where you just, okay, let's just play. And if it doesn't work, you roll back. I mean, it's not a big deal. But here's an example of how I do it. I have a bookmark for the creations page. This is sorted by last updated for all platforms. And wouldn't you know it? Oh, really honest. Ori, she came through on the day of the podcast or the live stream here. The gang's all here just got an update. This is one of my absolute favorite creations / mods because it allows you to have multiple companions. And it looks like it's available now on PlayStation. And if we look at the history, let's see, fixed an issue with a condition form that would allow blah, 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 blah. Added support for free lanes update. Yay. And removed localization. I guess that's too bad. But this is a pretty complicated mod, I guess. So yay. So this is one of my last holdouts. I didn't want to update my Steam modded play without the gangs all here because it would just cause too much breakage, and I wasn't sure if it would work or not. But yeah. So yeah, Ajax the Great. Yep, gangs all here is great. There's also Liga of Followers, but honestly, I couldn't figure it out. Like I loaded it, I couldn't figure out the interface. So gangs all here has always just been great. And yeah, Mary Beth, definitely have the same life goals to retire and play Starfield for sure. And then here's the same version, except it's on Nexus mods. And yay, the Nexus mods version was just updated too. And what's nice about this interface is that, well, the first thing I'll do is I'll exclude language translations because I don't want to track those. But if I've already downloaded the mod, it will tell me that an update is available. And then generally, this isn't the case with gangs all here, but generally you'll be able to go to a discussion tab and find out if other people are having issues. Or he turns that off because sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain to deal with users, I imagine. So let's see if there's another one that got updated that I actually use. Okay, so I don't use Command Console Runner, but I have downloaded it just to check it out. So you can go to the post tab, and this is where you'll find out if people are having issues. So sometimes people will, if they're having an issue on the creation side, they'll come over to the Nexus side and say, I'm trying to use this, it's not working, any advice, whatever. But well, actually we should look at that. So what are we at for a creations count?
Probably pretty high.
I mean, we're closing in on 5,000. Why can't I see it? Yeah, we're at 4989. So we're 11 creations away from 5,000 on the, 11 from, wow, that's awesome. And then, yeah, I have to check. I'll just do a check in my other window here for Starfield on Nexus. We're at 12.6K. So yeah, there seems to have been a lot of people coming back who might have given up on their mods who are coming back, which is cool because of all the influx of players and such. Oh, and speaking of favorite mods as well, Paul Brock has updated the POI. Let's see, which ones are they? Let me show you all. Let's see if I can put it on the screen here. Okay. So yeah, so POI cooldown and unique POI names and unique POI names, the patch for POI cooldown. Paul Brock has updated all three of these. And
Yeah, that was the guy that gave names to all the different little generic outposts that they got out there. Definitely a useful one. I would suggest that if you're like first time playing and you're exploring, because otherwise you'll see like civilian outposts and you'll be like, I've already been there, but it's a different civilian outpost.
Yes, exactly. So yeah,
how many there are in there.
I think there's 7 or 8. He went and listed which ones he had replaced. So the biggest one people will notice is the caves. So I think he found, well, he didn't, well, okay. So someone did I think it was French gentleman did a bunch of research like a couple years ago and listed all of the different types of caves and found that there was something like 37, 38 different caves, except they're all called cave, which is really boring.
Yeah.
Because I never bothered visiting a cave because it's just a cave. But these are all unique POIs.
Like 3 of them, I'm like, these are boring affair. I'm going elsewhere.
Yeah. So let me go to unique POI names. All right, unique POI names. Put it in the shared window. Okay, so now with unique POI names, there's 35 caves, 16 civilian outposts, 16 industrial outposts, 9 science, 5 pipeline terminus, 5 pipeline substations, 2 mining outposts, and 1 generic outpost with more to come. So what this creation / mod does is it gives each one its own name. So if you go to the history, I think he might have some examples. Yeah, so like for example, what previously was cave, he had called Blue Crystal Cave, but now he's changed it to Sapphire Crystal Cave or whatever. So when you see the cave at a distance now, it won't just say cave. It'll say something interesting. So if you're like, oh, I want to visit, or if let's say you're trying to hunt down every cave type, you can have a little spreadsheet and list or whatever and visit each one. Same as with these other locations. So this is, I did collect a bunch of video for this, and I was going to do a video on it, but I haven't put it out yet. So maybe now that there's an update, I might try to scrape that together and get it out for you all.
Yeah, definitely something great for beginners, especially like caves, civilian outposts in particular. There's a lot of them. And that generic name will throw you off. People will be like, oh, there's only 10 to 25 different POIs in Starfield. It's like, yeah, not really. There's like 25 civilian outposts. They're just all labeled the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is deceptive. Like you can get a sense for how big the game is if you go to like Inara.cz, which I'll do that in a second. Well, I'll do that now. So Inara.cz is an awesome site if you haven't visited it already. It's like the best Starfield database there is. And I saw the guy behind it is updating it for Terran Armada. So, or for free lanes and Terran Armada. So you'll get the different stuff and all there. So if you go to like locations, here's all the locations in Starfield. I mean, just looking at that, it's like, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff in Starfield. And then you go, okay, here's all the miscellaneous and POIs and temples. And then here's all the radiant locations. And this is where that we were talking about, it can be deceptive, right? Because is there even cave listed? I don't even know if cave is listed, cave hideout. But if we think about there being, many POIs with the same name, like 9 science outposts, science outpost is listed once here, wherever it is. Yeah, 1 entry here in science. So I used to use this as an estimate of how many POIs there were, 120 plus whatever. But now you can added in, there's going to be 15 more civilian outposts, 15 more industrial outposts, whatever. So there's a ton of content. It's just Bethesda did not do a good job marketing this kind of, I think, in terms of like presenting it to the player in a way that really would be would have the right impact.
Yeah, especially to like showcase like how many different things. So probably they should have probably named everything.
Yeah. Oh, and I also mentioned this creation, which I really like. This is the first in a series. The modder's name is Polvo Voss, which I guess is like that's in the game, right? That's one of the systems. The idea behind permanent POIs is that the modder has gone through the creation kit, found all the POIs, and has put them in specific locations. So this is sort of like the master one for permanent POIs. So if you go to Alpha Centauri, somewhere in the system, you will find these 4 POIs. Or if you go to Arcturus, you will find these 2. Or if you go to Vala, you will find these 3. You need to like scan and find them on all, find them. But
I know someone did that with the hostile POIs. It's like POI variants. They put variants in there where they mixed up the interiors, but they also placed the unmodified one in specific places. So you cannot run into like repeats.
Yeah, that's cool. I like this because, for example, let's say you've never, the algorithm has never shown you deserted Freestar Collective Garrison. With this mod, you can go somewhere in the Delta Pavonis system, visit the planets, you will find a deserted Freestar Collective Garrison, so I actually did a little, I don't know, last year, I made a list of all these and I just checked them all off. I just visited each one just as a fun thing to do. And I think there's going to be an update for some of the other POIs that have come out in the other, the new content that we've gotten. So that's the story with permanent POIs. All right.
A lot of fun mods out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's kind of neat about this is not only do we have new content, but people are coming back and saying, "Oh, I've got new ideas or whatever." Drop them in there.
You want while you're on creations, you want to see a fun statistic?
Sure.
Look up Daemog real quick. Click on it and go to its details page and look at how many people since April 7th have played on PlayStation specifically.
Oh,
that's a great
stat.
It's not been a lot of days. It's not been a lot of days at all. That is a lot of play sessions. They're like averaging over 100,000 on PlayStation alone.
So let's just talk about what this is. So I would give Eclipse the credit for discovering this as a great metric for Starfield. What you can do is over time, if let's say you visited this page every day and you took a record of how many plays there were. And a play is every time you launch the game. So if you launch the game 3 times, you get 3 plays in a day, whatever. But what this statistic allows you to do is to get a sense of how big the game is. And you can use a sample of different creations and sort of generate your own meta idea of how popular the game is. And so Eclipse was saying, well, since the 7th, when the game launched, there's been 1.527 million plays of people with the Daemog. And tomorrow you write that number down, the day after you write that number down, and then you throw in some other popular ones. So
I actually have a scraper on GitHub that you can scrape this website and get this information, and you could set it up as like an automated Windows task to do it on like a 24-hour basis.
Which ones do you like to keep
Daemon's my favorite. The Starborn Graphis suit is also another very popular mod. Mainly I picked those ones because I've noticed this on Reddit. There's a lot of people that'll be like, I play vanilla only, except Daemog and Starborn Graphis suit. So they'll make an exception for those mods, but they'll say I play mod free. So like we're not going to get into that whole like shenanigans of you're mod free except for these mods. But a lot of people accept this as canon vanilla, and people will install these because it's Bethesda content. So people who might have hesitation about mods will still play these.
This is a good one. Well, you picked it. This one has 1.4 million. So the other one was 1.5. This is 1.4. Let's go back to Bethesda, and we'll just sort by most popular.
Oh,
Okay,
do
so yeah,
the perfect
observatory.
recipe. That's a free
Okay, we'll
quest
do that one.
mod right there.
All right, we'll do that
Chris
one.
Takanashi made it. One of my favorite one of my favorite Bethesda developers. So 1.2 million plays right there.
Yeah,
What is today's date? That was released on the 7th.
yeah. So
Geez.
11 days. Let's do the
Yeah,
observatory
they're
too.
averaging like Daymog that's 150,000 plays a day almost it's averaging. That's absurd.
Here's observatory, 1.3 million.
Yeah, we have Daymog that's averaging what is it? About 150,000 plays a day. But then I have IGN telling me that PlayStation only sold 140,000 copies.
Yeah,
Which number's wrong? Is it the official ones here, or is it the one that doesn't have the methodology disclosed?
yeah. I did
Uh,
see, so new. I think it was either Newzoo or someone came out with their own assessment, and they led with, "Oh, it's only sold that many." But then they said, "Well, here's two other games that were popular, and their count for the equivalent time was like 40,000 and 60,000." So I was like,
yeah,
"Oh,
there's
well,
a
Starfield's
there's
actually
a
doing
lot
pretty
of
well then."
cherry picking going on. Starfield's doing very well. I'm seeing a lot of Japanese players on X that are posting
Mm,
a ton of content. I think there's a little bit of, people having a bad experience because of crashes. I know PlayStation's getting a patch next week, and they patched PlayStation Pro, but I don't think that's going to fix the underlying causes on the PlayStation end entirely. So, looking forward to that. And I think once they get a little bit of the jank polished out, PlayStation's going to do very well for Starfield. I think it's right at home at PlayStation, and I've been hearing rumors about Switch, though I'm very skeptical about that because that is going to be a hell of a technical feat to
yeah,
port this massive of a game onto a handheld like that. Um,
yeah.
I'm hopeful for it, but I would see the Switch audience as being probably the perfect fit for Starfield because they
Mm,
love cozy games like Animal Crossing. And
mm.
this definitely it has that very cozy vibe where you're building out like outposts, taking pictures and stuff. I think it would do perfect on the Switch, but that's a matter of like, can they fit this massive of a game and get it to run appropriately with the memory constraints of the handheld? And that's a lot of questions. So, I'm hearing rumors about it. I'm hopeful, but I'm very skeptical.
I would love to see Starfield Mobile and have it be a shipbuilding game and an outpost building game. And then those become templates that you can, I mean, you can just enjoy in that, like, oh, look at this cool thing I built. Because that's kind of consistent with other Bethesda mobile games. But then you could export the the result
The
that you built,
outputs.
yeah, and bring it into main Starfield. I think that would just be awesome.
People would never stop playing at that point. If they could sit there on their phone, design their ships during their day,
Mhm.
upload it to their save file, and then have that ship. Oh god. Yeah, I mean, you're talking like I know a lot of fans of this game that have thousands upon thousands of hours. Those people would never stop playing. They would just be sitting there designing ships and outposts all day long, then get
Yeah.
home from their day job they didn't do and boot up their game and enjoy that stuff.
Hey, I just wanted to say hello to some other people. Morbid, Cable Snarky. I'm not sure if I said hello to you all before. Christian Pierce. Oh, X2357 is here. Hey, how's it going? One of the clutch modders out there. Mind's Eye. Hello, Superman. Whoa. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, I always
X2357. I love his stuff. Uh,
yeah.
I got his Western themed stuff. I think he did a really good job on that.
Yeah, I'd like, so if you have a comment, anyone who's out there, are you playing a PlayStation and how has it been? And if you're just, whatever Starfield you're playing, how has your modding experience been? Like, are your mods working? Because like I said at the beginning, I've just been playing vanilla because I kind of like to go through and get achievements. Oh, and let's talk about that. So if you want to drop that in the comments, we're interested in hearing from you. Um, I did a video, or at least it was part of my last video, where for the first time playing Starfield, I felt like there was a disconnect between the achievements and how I played. Like the last time, let me just remove this here. The last time I played Starfield with an eye towards achievements was Shattered Space, and it seemed like just playing Shattered Space, I could get the achievements. It's basically complete this, get this many vortex shards, whatever it was. But I found with free lanes that if I didn't make certain decisions, I was done. Like I was cut out. Like doing the Help Wanted quest, I won't spoil it, but with Caruso, if I didn't do certain things, I missed out on like 3 or 4 achievements. I couldn't believe it until I was done. I went back and I looked at the achievement list and I saw I didn't do this. So I had to go back and load old saves because I'm trying to get that character to get the achievements. And I know achievements, it's not a thing, but some people just don't understand that, or they play on PC and they use an achievement enabler mod. But for me, I don't know. Seeing the number out there, I'd like to get that 82 of 82. I don't know. Why do we play games at all?
I've gotten all the achievements from Starfield.
Well,
I think they put up the creation engine. I broke. I was done.
Well, okay, so I can relate to that because I told you at the beginning, I had never gotten all the Starborn powers. I'd never visited all the temples. I had never even done Barrett's quest to get his own power. But because my character, I needed to get 30 quantum essence to update the QED so I could put enough of my junk into it, I had to go find 30 Starborn. So a combination of doing the temples, encountering some in space, I think that was basically it. I didn't encounter any on the ground. So thankfully I had enough temples to find and enough ships in space. I got 31 in the gameplay. And so I was able to dump my stuff into the QED and go through Unity. But yeah, I got almost 2,000 hours of Starfield and I had not gotten all the powers because I just don't play with them. But now maybe that's going to be something I do because I took it to heart when they said we want to encourage more Starborn play. So I said, maybe I should look into that. Give it a try. Yeah, let us know. Yeah. Do you use powers? Do you actually play as a Starborn, or you just play sort of more sci-fi as opposed to sci fantasy?
Yeah, I think that's like the two different paths people go. They either play like this hardcore, like realistic version, or they go like full on space fantasy, and they embrace the Starborn powers. So that's kind of like where I've gone, where I know you have gone like a different path where you basically don't touch the Starborn powers and it's more of a realistic experience.
Yeah, honestly, I think it has more to do with the interface. Like if there were an easier way to interface with Starborn powers, and I know, so like, I don't know, 2 years ago, I did a review of Apotheosis, which brings a lot of Starborn powers to the fore when you're in combat or whatever. Like I can't describe it.
I wish I could toggle between them quicker. Like you can use like speed keys to do that, but I wish there was like I could push like right or left bumper and like toggle between them. That's probably like the only issue I have with utilizing Starborn powers is it's too difficult to kind of like toggle between them, and it kind of makes it a little bit clunky.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so there is this mod called Apotheosis, and it came out. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So it originally came out in January of 2025. So this is a pretty old mod, but I think it still works, and it just gives you better access to Starborn powers in certain situations. Like over here, you can see if you bring up the scanner, you've got the option to launch Creator's Peace, Parallel Self, Inner Demon, Life Force. Okay, that's all. I mean, there's more that can be done. That's just all for the images. Okay, so we got some comments coming in. Oh, yes. NJ Drive. Yes, I 100% agree. I wish they would add pets. I thought they were so close with that, but yeah, we need real pets. And Matt, I'm not calling it Sense Star stuff. I refuse. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Morbid having trouble keeping a load order stable. Yeah, that can be an issue, right? That's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about going through Unity on my modded players too, just to have it clean come out the other side. Okay, yeah, Tammy, you're saying they did add pets. The problem is they're not dogs and cats. That's what I would like to have. Okay, yeah.
I think that's exactly what people were looking for. Model G, though, kind of it fills that void, that dog meat left behind when I moved
Ah,
from like Fallout 4, because it's this quiet companion that boops and beeps and follows you
mm.
around. It very much seems like dog meat to me, just
Do
in a
you?
robot form.
So okay, I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, but is this robot in the well?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
because
not a
that
huge
popped up.
spoil. I won't spoil it. Like,
Yeah,
go down to the well, you'll get a mission immediately, and just follow it, and you'll
okay.
like the companion.
Yeah, it popped up for me. So I think I've mentioned this, but when I went through the Unity, I had like Tammy. I don't know if you were here. I gave you credit that tip for putting all of the ammo. Like I bought every bit of ammo on the settled systems, and then I put it in my QED with zero mass. Sold it on the other side. When I went to the well to sell ammo back to get creds, it popped up. So I just have to go back there. And it is
Yeah,
kind of not disorienting, but it is a little bit overwhelming. And again, this is a vanilla play. I know there's
yeah.
mods that could turn this off, but when you go through and suddenly you're hit with Shattered Space and Terran Armada and all of the side quests, it's just like, oh man, it's just
All the
and I
triggers
know,
all at once. I know
yeah,
I wanna do exactly what you're doing now, where I start a fresh playthrough, and
mm,
I basically start, like, level 1, and I experience the whole thing.
yeah. I have only done the main quest once.
Oh my
That was
god,
it.
I've done it so many times. I've done it to the point where I'm, like, sick of it and like, "Please let me skip this."
Well, the thing is, when I create, and I did a video about this. If anyone's interested, like how do I create characters? And what I do is I play on PC. I create a character with fast start, and then I have a set of batch scripts that add the equipment that I want. I have some private mods that have my own modified weapons and equipment and all that. And so the scripts go through, and I just add it all. And then when I'm done, I have a level 60 character that just goes out. And I use level 60 so that all the ship parts are unlocked. But even then, it's not even necessary because I buy my ship that I built in the creation kit, so I don't even need to have level 60. It's just sort of the standard that I use. But
Well, it's
um,
kinda like level 60 is like the at least I'm not sure if they changed the level scaling with Terran Armada. I think they did, to be honest. But like level 60 was like the sweet spot where the game is challenging, but it's not starting to get too easy yet.
yeah, so I don't know. I think we have a lot of very experienced players here, but I wanted to point out if even if you're an experienced player, but you haven't checked out ShipTechnician. So I had to build a new ship when I went through Unity because I wasn't using mods. I couldn't load my old ship. Let me just bring this up on the screen here. There we go. So ShipTechnician has a new video on new ship parts and free lanes. So just go ahead and look. He's literally at ShipTechnician. And I haven't watched this new video yet, but my favorite part of every video is when he starts up saying, "What's up, shipbuilders?" And I don't know if he does that in this video, but that's my favorite. And then he has a if you're trying to build a ship and you want the no joke real deal on what you should build your ship out of, this is absolutely the right video. So it's called ship Starfield Best Ship Parts Guide, and it's 2 years old. And he goes through like if you want to have the best engine or whatever, and it's based on rules that he's come up with for deciding what is best. And in some cases, there's no argument. Like he has built these giant spreadsheets. Let me show you if he has the spreadsheet here. It might be in a different video, but I highly recommend checking out ShipTechnician if you're interested at all in building ships. Do you have any shipbuilding like preferences, or is there anything you always build with yours?
With mine, I'm gonna be real honest, I am not great with the shipbuilder, so what I do is I typically go out deep within the settled systems and I steal a ship.
Oh,
And
really?
it's like one of the first things I do is I fly out as far as I possibly can, and I start landing on moons until someone lands, I steal their ship, and then I just, like, tweak the weapons and engine and keep it as
Oh,
is.
that is funny. So that's funny. So I have a lot of what do you call it? Not biases. I have preferences for my ships. Like I really want to have, I think it's the turret. Whatever the gun is that fires. So this is my latest ship right here. Um, I really want to have the guns that fire on their own because I am so bad at aiming. And it really helps when I was battling all those Starborn ships, what that did for me was when they would hit me and they would disable the ship, the turrets were just turning around and firing on their own and shooting at everyone. And I could be dead in the water, but I'm still taking out enemies without having to point my guns at them. So I really like that. And then I always have certain requirements for the cargo space. How many crew can the ship have? How many passengers can I have? Because I love running those little passenger missions and everything. So, and then I want to have scan jammers and I want to have shielded cargo. And at the end of the day, like I have a certain set of things that I want. And so I used ShipTechnician's video to pick the best ones
end up
for
with
each of those.
2 ships. Just to elaborate, I have one that I'll usually end up with one. It's like the gunship where it's all turrets and it basically just wipes out everything instantaneously. Then I have a second ship. It's all manual fire, but it's designed to disable other ships so I can steal them. So
Okay.
I end up going with like a twofer. One of my favorite activities is like shipboarding within this game. I think they did such a stellar job on that. That is like a fun little mini game on its own. Is like get into space combat, kill all the ships, disable the big one, board it, take it over. I could do that all day just by itself. It's my favorite way to make money is just stealing people's ships.
Have you played? Okay, so Cordic released a bunch of small mods, small creations. Plunder, Ship Self-Destruct. I can't remember all of them. I did a video on them, but if you haven't, have you tried those?
No, I have not. It's probably
Okay,
something I should try because I like those aspects of the game.
they're totally worth it. So ship self-destruct is very simple. You board a ship, and if you want to destroy it, you just go to the pilot seat and you select the tamper option, and the ship will blow up after you leave. It's so cold. And then the other one, the plunder aspect is really fun because what you can do is, the vanilla game when you go to piracy, it will say, they'll agree or they'll disagree. But then that's it. Like you don't actually board the ship. With plunder, once they agree that they'll give up their cargo, you can board the ship. And when you walk inside, everyone's standing there with their hands up, and you can walk around the ship and take stuff and, steal from the captain's locker or whatever. And then if you're super cold, you can use that with self-destruct and blow up the ship when you leave. I usually don't do that, but yeah, those two little mods working together is pretty fun.
I know one I would love to see, I don't think it exists yet, is ship repossessions. I saw this as an opportunity. You know the little Gal Bank quests they have where you're collecting, like, debt from people? You might
Yes.
not have seen them. Okay, you've seen them. I just thought of the aspect of, like, what about, like, ship notes? Like, what if someone's behind on their ship payments? Can I steal that, bring it back to Gal Bank for a price? Maybe that's something I should build, but I would think that to be fun way to incorporate that gameplay mechanic in a way that's not criminal, where you're not like racking up debt for killing people and taking their ships. You're basically legitimately doing it. Hey, this person's behind on their payment on their starship. Go out and collect it for us.
What's that called? Like, there's a name for people who repossess stuff. I don't know what it's called though, but that would be like repossession or something like that. That would be a great. I love that. That'd be a great mod.
I think that would be a very fun one. You could just do like little proc gen quests where it just picks a random location, plugs in a random ship. It's like, hey, you go out there, you collect the ship, you come back, you get money for it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. See, there's so many fun little things people could add. Oh, Repo Man. Yeah, thank you. Truth Seeker and M. Joseph and Matt and Alaron. Yeah. Oh, Cable Snark. Yeah, exactly. Repo. Oh, yeah. Repo would be great. That would be so much fun. Tammy, yeah, thanks for putting that in there. Yeah, that would be a really fun thing.
I should work on. I have like a billion ideas for like mods that I'd love to do. Like, I thought about something that you know how many civilian outposts there are? We were just talking about it. There's a ton of them.
Yeah.
A very simple mod someone could do. Take those little civilian outposts, clone them all, put them back into the procedural generation, take all the civilians out, replace them with dead bodies, and add like pirates or spacers or ecliptic, and just put it back in there. Retitle it as like distressed civilian outpost. Bam, more objects.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't even really have to do too much work. That would be a very efficient way to like create a new mod that adds a ton of content for people.
By the way, people talk about how good Starfield looks. Look at that. I mean, I think this is just
Oh, it
Mars.
does.
This is just vanilla Mars. Like the lighting. I mean,
One of the
lighting is
most
everything. But
ugly places in the game is like Mars, and still it looks good. It looks
oh, I'm
amazing.
sorry. It's Mercury. Okay, yeah. So it's Mercury. That's why the sun looks so big in the sky, I suppose. But yeah, yeah. Lighting is everything. I was wondering. You know, there had been some discussion about whether Starfield would get like ray reconstruction and new lighting models and all that with the update, but it doesn't look like any of that happened. I
No.
honestly don't even know if they updated the like they didn't update FSR, which I was upset about. And I don't have an AMD card, but it would have been nice to have had FSR 4. And then DLSS, you can just override. They don't have to ship the DLLs with it.
Yeah,
But
I think a
yeah,
lot of people were expecting like some massive engine changes to the game, and I don't think the game was ever going to go in that direction where they were going to be like redoing all the plumbing for the lighting effects and stuff like that. It's already pretty good as is, and like most people do not complain about that stuff. So I don't understand a lot of like the hubbub about, oh, they're going to get rid of loading screens. It's like, I don't like, they don't bother me. Like every game has loading screens.
yeah,
They did
yeah. I
change up
mean,
the flow of loading screens though with that's the one thing I would say with cruise mode is it changed up the flow of loading screens. So you now have this gap where you're in cruise mode instead of getting back-to-back loading screens. So
mhm.
I think that's where a lot of the complaints about loading screens come from, is experiencing back-to-back loading screens. That's not
Mhm.
like a pleasant experience.
Yeah, it's just a little bit jarring, and with cruise mode especially, I think every part of it, I think they did a good job. The sounds of it are cool, like
Mhm.
the as you're going through your gears, and then as you decelerate, the visuals are cool. They yeah, hats off to whoever came up with all of that. That I'm sure it was a group of people, but yeah, they did a
You
great
wanna hear
job.
my one gripe about cruise mode?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So here's my one gripe about it, is it doesn't allow you to do close flybys of stars. But
Oh,
on Twitter
yeah.
this morning, a mod author published a mod that allows you to do that. So that's one of those things like, when you're looking at these things, like sometimes like you have wants desires with it. Like if you're patient enough, like someone out there also shares that exact same thing and they have the technical knowledge to make it happen. So like even though I had that gripe about cruise mode where I couldn't do like a close flyby of a star because I think their textures are just absolutely stellar, some mod author went out there and just went ahead and made the change.
That is cool. That is cool. Yeah, that's the thing, right? You get enough people who are interested in the game, and someone else probably has the same idea and says, "Oh, I'll work on that." I don't remember if we mentioned this in the stream yet, but I did want to do a little shout out. So we did mention the three new NPCs with the combined Terran Armada and free lanes. But this is a pretty funny video. It's NPC Muria. So you know she's one of the three NPCs now. But the actor who plays her, she recruited herself in the game, and it's funny too because her character looks exactly like this. I don't know how she made it be a perfect match, but she did. And so she, yeah, I don't know if maybe I could actually play some of this because it is just a video, right? Let's see here.
Do you have any? I think the character designer also wanted to put like a spider in her pocket, her inventory. I don't remember what that's referencing. There must be another line about that I don't.
It's funny though. She'll read a line that she's saying as her character, and then Miria responds, and it's the exact same voice and tone. And I don't think there was, it was very much they really did build it off of this lady's character. I think so. If you get a chance to watch, and I spoke to her on Instagram or actually on Twitch when she was doing a different live stream, and asked if she might be interested in coming on as an interview. So hopefully we'll be able to do that sometime
Oh, that would
sometime
be
in the future too.
very interesting one. I actually watched this whole entire stream. Like Chris Takanashi did the character. One of like he's my favorite quest designer at Bethesda. Love his work. And he was involved in this. And this is This is basically the character people have been asking for when they go, "Oh, the Starfield has no dark characters. Here you go. This is your dark character." This is basically like fan service to the fans. Like, you wanted a dark character, we're giving it to you, and it's exactly what you asked for.
Yeah. It's so funny. I mean, I'm of an age now where I just look at someone like this with this attitude. I'm like, is this really how you feel? I don't know. Is this how much of this is an act, or do you really do believe this? So I recruited her just to hear her lines and all of that. I call her my my ray of sunshine to join the party.
I've been
I
having
wanted to
a lot of
share.
fun time with her.
I'm sorry to talk over you. I wanted to mention this too. So people who aren't necessarily like in love with X Tech, and you might miss the way Legendary Module Recycler worked. Jonathan Ostris has updated Legendary Module Recycler and brought back the classic option. So that means compatible now with free lanes, you can use Legendary Module Recycler again. I haven't played it yet, but I'm hoping it works the way it did before. So if you're not familiar with this mod, you would be out, let's say you find a Space Adept pistol or something. You're like, Space Adept is stupid. I don't care about that. You take the pistol, you put it into the recycler, and it will give you back a Space Adept module and a legendary core element. And the thing now is you have those as resources that you can craft into another item. So what this effectively does is you can strip all of the, you find all these legendaries, you don't really care about what they are. Maybe you do care. Maybe you find a weapon or something that has one legendary trait that you really want, but you want to put it on another weapon. You can strip all these from the equipment, store them in your cargo, and then go to a workbench and you can add them to other equipment. So that was a really nice mechanic. I know McLaren's could do some things like that too, but this was just very simple and straightforward and no NPCs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to give this a shot and we'll see how it's working with the new update.
Yeah, there's a lot of different mods that can do that. I think that's probably why they went with X Tech and rolling of legendary effects.
Yeah, I was a little
but
worried initially. Like I found that after 5 rolls, you can just pick. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. But like, you got to use like a bunch of X Tech to do that if you just want to pick. So that would get very costly. Not to mention, it also takes credits, which is probably my favorite change, is because like going into Terran Armada, I think I had like 2 million in credits just sitting around. I had nothing to spend it on, and I blew through it in 2 weapons. I made 2 weapons with it and blew through the whole entire stockpile. I have to go out and get money again. So like,
wow.
Before like the economy's completely broken, people would like, I would see people like, how do I get money in Starfield? It's like, you have issues getting money in Starfield? Like, I have too much of it. I don't know what to spend it on.
Wow.
And that whole like the X Tech, perfect. It utilizes money, new resource, and actually like kind of fixes the economy.
That's really interesting. My last character that I just went through the Unity with had like 7 million, and I was only able to salvage 1 million, or basically 1 million by buying ammo. And then on the other side, that 1 million of ammo turned into 500K, which was just enough for me to build my ship that I wanted.
Have you upgraded any weapons yet?
No. So that's just it, right? I'm broke. So I'm going to have to go out and actually, here's the thing, right? Might be where I build my, one of my meth, not meth. I can't remember the name of it was, whatever it was. I built, a farming outpost that made chems, and that was it was good for both XP and for credits. So maybe I'll have to rebuild that to build up enough money. I don't know.
Possibly.
Oh, and
It's pretty expensive, which is one of the aspects that I enjoy about it, because it makes like when I'm running through a dungeon, like I'm thinking like I should pick up weapons because I like, at very minimum I can sell them to finance stuff. Without spoiling anything, Terran Armada has a very good weapon. It was shown in the trailers. Absolutely love it. You can basically turn it into any type of weapon you want. So if you're looking for like a sniper rifle or something like not quite an SMG, but you can have like an assault rifle and different styles of it. So I actually have like 3 of them now that I use, and I'm basically just using that. So like I have a sniper variant, like an assault variant, and then like a full on like I'm being surrounded and I need to just burst everyone down really quick.
Wow.
But they were
Sounds
very
fun.
expensive to build. Very expensive
Yeah.
to build.
Well, we had some good
so-
comments here. Cable Snarky mentioned it's $5 million for the new asteroid mansion, so that's pretty hefty. Oh, and then Dan asked, "What does everyone think about X Tech having weight?" Yeah, for me, weight is almost irrelevant because I just enable the access to your ship's cargo from anywhere. I take the XP hit, but now I love having to. I've got 3,000 cargo available on my ship, so I just dump whatever in there.
I don't play with that. I like the mechanics where I'm limited by gravity.
Okay.
So I have to like be specific, like what do I take with me? What do I leave behind? So I that's an aspect of the game I enjoy. I like the inventory management where I have to make decisions about like what I'm picking up, what I'm leaving behind. But yeah, I like that they put weight on it. I think maybe put a gameplay option in there to turn off the weight like they do with ammo for players that do not want that, but it makes it more realistic. I have to limit my decision making, which is an aspect I like.
Yeah. Oh, and J Mill Saint mentioned it's the O2 farm. That's exactly what I would build. The O2 shot, that's the way to get unlimited XP and credits if you want to build that. I got a video from a while ago. Well, Eclipse, we are at the bottom of our second hour, and this is generally where we try to wrap it up. So any closing thoughts for our audience? And thank you everyone who joined us.
Closing thoughts. Pythias is going to come to PlayStation once I'm done playtesting the mod. If you're interested in playtesting, I do have it available on my Discord. You can find my Discord on my YouTube channel. And more than willing, I can take feedback. So tell me your opinion. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me where you think things could be improved. If I went with a very light hand in editing things, I didn't go too crazy. So if things need turned up, let me know. There's knobs I can still crank on. But I am having an extremely enjoyable experience with Free Lanes, Terran Armada, and I see a bright future for Starfield as it continues.
I agree. I think, well, before the content came out, both Tim Lamb and Todd talked about this isn't the end. They have more ideas. There's more runway out there. So I do think we're going to get more. I don't know what it'll be and whether they're talking about a content update or a DLC. We'll see. I don't think the Starborn story has been played out. There's still enough mystery around that they might want to do some more with it. So I do think we're going to see more. And I am keeping track of my statistics around, Starfield in the top 40. It did come back. Anyway, I posted where it had come back.
Crazy theory about why they trademarked Starborn.
Yeah, sure.
Because they know where the story's ending, so they preemptively trademarked it for the last DLC.
Okay.
And I think that's what they're going to do is they're going to conclude it as the last one. They did that with Skyrim. So the last DLC for Skyrim, I believe it was Dragonborn, where it went into the Dragonborn. And I think that's what their game plan is for Starborn, is that's going to be the very last DLC they do.
Okay. So it's just preemptively setting us up.
They know where they're going to end the story, and they preemptively trademarked it. Could be completely wrong on that, just so you can disregard me. They might have trademarked that just for a toy series they want to do.
Right. Which, I'm sorry, hardcore Starfield fans, I did not buy Sarah Morgan or the Terramorph. It's just too much for the quality. Just doesn't look like it's there.
Oh, the action figures. We didn't even talk about that. Have you found any of the action figures yet?
Yeah, I found a few, and I broke into the security office at Anchor Point and found the Terramorph. So that was fun. I had to sell it and to get the stolen marker off of it. But I wanted just to mention I tracked the Xbox top 40 achievements, and Starfield. So initially, Starfield had this incredible run, right? out of 65 of its first 65 weeks, it was not on the list, only 3 weeks, which is better than every other game of its genre. But then it was gone since December of 2004, and last week it made an appearance at number 18. So we'll see. You know, does it go up? Yeah. Does it go up? Does it go down? Does it disappear? I don't know. We'll see. And I also track where it appears on the Microsoft, top games that are played. So
we need to put a caveat. People like me are not playing with achievements on. So
yeah, that's
one of those things
too.
that needs to be considered. Is there's a lot of players that are playing achievement like free. They don't care about them. They have mods turned on.
And just one other graph, as we're talking a little bit of numbers here as we go out. This is my graph of mod growth estimates, so download counts, and this number that cuts like the highest growth of all, that's Starfield. That line right there. And so Starfield is, I've estimated it to pass Mountain Blade. Actually, I already did pass Mountain Blade.
Yeah, we passed that. We're getting close to the next spot.
Yeah, Witcher 3. Yeah, Witcher 3, and then that'll be it. It'll be in number 10 spot. But anyway,
yeah, and it'll just be Bethesda at the top.
Yeah, then it'll be all Bethesda basically. Yeah. All right. Hey everyone, thank you so much. Eclipse, thank you for joining me again. I appreciate it. It's always fun to talk to you and hear what's going on.
Oh, absolutely. I love being on.
All right. And thank you if you're watching the recording of this, and feel free to leave your comments. You know, we go in there and check out all the comments. So on behalf of both of us, we will see you in the Starfield.
We'll see you guys.